Yep, Josh, it's on. Oh my God. Okay, here we go. Practice test number 1. We actually started it yesterday, but we only got the first page done. So we are
Page
going
3 and 6.
to number
6.
12. It's on.
We're good. I know, I was making sure.
Is it still on?
Still on.
All right, so here we go. X minus 2y to the 4th power. Now, some of you are really struggling with this. Those of you that have turned in homework, which is about half of you, I'm sure you still owe me this homework. You gotta get this sorted out. Remember, if it's on the practice test, it's on the test, right? Okay. I'm expanding to the 4th power. There's a 4-step process here. Step 1, write down the coefficients you're going to use in the problem. And where do those coefficients come from? Pascal's triangle. So 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. This is the row of numbers that I'm going to use. Alright, you've gone through how to build that triangle. If you don't know, then you need to come to office hours and get that sorted out. Or find a friend. Okay? Now, write down those coefficients. So here they are. 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. And use the page. It's an expansion problem. It gets big. Step 1, done. Step 2, next to each of these numbers, put an X and notice I'm putting it in parentheses, and then put a negative 2y. If you are writing anything other than what I'm writing, because you're either too lazy or not paying attention, you're not going to get the right answer. So next to the numbers, put an X in parentheses and a negative 2y in parentheses, all the way down the line. Okay? Step 1, write down the coefficients from the triangle. Step 2, write down this and this in every term. Step 3, put your powers on. Okay? Now, I gotta start with a power right here. First letter, first power is going to be that. So 4. And then what happens to my x's as I go down the line? 3, 2, 1, 0. And while I'm here, I'm just going to kind of scribble that one out. Because what is anything to the 0 power? 1. And when I multiply by 1, it has no impact. So I don't need to worry about that one. All right, so here I'm standing right here. What's going to be the power on that guy? 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Whoop, here's another 0, so cross that one out. Don't need that one. Put plus signs between each of your terms to help you keep them separated. Because each term is going to be a multiplication. So in this first term, this one's easy, we're going to be multiplying 1 times x to the 4th, which is just going to be x to the 4th. But in this term, what is being multiplied? A 4, an x cubed, and a negative 2y. That is not a subtraction, that is a multiplication. We are multiplying. So what do I get when I multiply all those things together? Negative 8 x cubed y. And then this one, same thing. You are multiplying. So you have a 6, you have an x squared, and here's the trap. What's that? 4y squared. See that parentheses? You got to put it in, and as soon as you put it in, then you're squaring everything. So it's -2 squared, which is 4, y squared. So now multiply it all together, and what do we get? Positive 24 x squared, y squared. What are we multiplying here? 4x, and what's that? -8 y cubed. -2 times -2 times -2 is -8. So what do I get when I multiply it all? -32 xy cubed. And then what about the last one? What's that equal? 16. Why the 4th? Because when we multiply a negative times a negative times a negative times a negative, we get a positive. That's the answer to the question. Alrighty? Now, 13 is the same thing, except we don't want every term, we want only the third one. So in this problem, it would be like just looking for that term. Okay? And where did that term come from? It came from a coefficient, an x, and a -2y. So, when I look at the next problem, and it says, find the third term of this expansion, it needs a coefficient. And where is the coefficient going to come from? 7th row of the triangle. Guys, I need you to engage. Where did the coefficients come from when I started the last problem? Right here? This is where the coefficients come from. Now, I need to the 7th power, so I'm not going to get my coefficient from here. I'm going to have to build more of the triangle. And here's comes the 7th row, and I'm going to stop right there, because what do I want in this problem? I want the third term. So there's no point going any further. Isn't this going to be the third term? So I'm going to start with my 21. If I were doing the whole thing, like I did in the last problem, I would have to write down every single one of these numbers, and it would go on line. I don't want to do that this time. I only want the third one. Next to every number, including the 21, will be a 2x and a y. And now I need my exponents. We're going to think. If I were doing the whole thing, if I were starting right here, what would be the power on my 2x term right here? It would be 7. So here it would be 6, and here it is 5. So the power on my x is 5. Now, I could count down from the other end, or I can just remember that since this is to the 7th power, my exponents have to add up to 7. So as soon as I put a 5 there, I know that one's going to be a 2. And now I simplify. So what am I, this is all multiplying. So what am I multiplying? I'm multiplying 21. Watch it, what's this? No, it's not 25. What does 2 to the 5th mean, you guys? Okay, so don't sit there and stare at me. If you don't know what 2 to the 5th is, get it on your calculator. So it's 32 x to the 5th y squared. And then what do I have to do? Multiply those two together. What's 21 times 32? 672, x to the 5th, y squared. And there is your third term. How would you calculate HC5 by hand? You remember 8 factorial, yep. Perfect, that's it. That's the formula for C's. Remember, for P's, it would be 8 factorial over just the 3 factorial. But this is it for C's, that's right. Okay, so now what does 8 factorial mean? 8 times 7 times 6, and I'm gonna stop because the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is gonna cancel with that, right? So in the bottom, I still have my 3, 2, 1, 3 factorial, which is 6. So the answer to the problem is 56. Now remember, you're gonna have a calculator when you do this, but I have to see that much work. I have to see the setup, and then I have to see all the canceling until the denominator's gone. Then if you need your calculator, you can use it. All right, now we have, we talked about these yesterday, I think. So we've got our apples and bananas. And we know stuff, and we want to find this. Okay, so look at what they gave us. What does this mean? When they say P of A is 0.7, what does that mean? The probability I like apples is 0.7, 70%, 0.7. And the probability I like bananas is 0.5. And what does this last piece mean?
Probability of
Apples and bananas. So that's where we start, because where does that go? Apples and bananas is gonna go right here, right, in the middle. Well, if the whole apple ball is 0.7, but I already put a 0.3 right there, what's this? 0.4. And if the whole banana ball is 0.5, but I already have 0.3 there, this is 0.2. And now I recognize when I look at my graph that I have 40% of the people here, I have 30% of the people here, and I have 20% of the people here. How many of the people are in here? 90. That's not enough. Where are the other 10? They're out here. And who are those people? They don't like any of them? So isn't that this question right here? This is not apples and not bananas. So this is 0.1. What's this one? Apples and not bananas, which would be 0.4. This is only apples. All right, now we've got our charts. You got them right there, so you're good. What is the probability? Okay, so what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna reach into each class and grab a student. What is the probability that they will both like math? All right, so class 1, this is math and math. Class 1, what's the probability he likes math? 0.6. And class 2. Answer to the question is 0.24. Right? Takes about 2 seconds. First one likes math, and the second one likes science. Now notice it says, first one math, second one science. That's it. So first one math was 0.6. What's second science? 0.2. So that is 0.12. What is the probability that neither likes art? So no art and no art. What's the probability in class 1 that we don't like art? 0.9. And class 2, 0.9, so 0.81. And now here comes the one where you have to be on your toes. Look at what the next one says. It says I need somebody to like science and the other one to like English. Where does it not tell me which ones are coming from? So I have to do science and English, or English and science. Does everybody follow that? I just know I'm getting one of each, but I don't know where they're coming from. So I have to consider both possibilities. All right, so what is science and English? Science out of the first one would be 0.1, and English out of the second is 0.3, so that's 0.03. Now I need English out of the first one, so that's 0.2. And science out of the second one, that's another 0.2. So that's 0.04. Now, since it could be either this or that, I'm going to add them, and the answer is 0.07. Here we go. Practice test number 2. Practice test number 2. Here we go. I should say, how many different sandwiches are possible if there are 3 kinds of bread, 2 kinds of meat, and 4 kinds of cheese? So you go down to the cafeteria line, you have to pick a bread, you have to pick a meat, you have to pick a cheese. How many do you think are possible? 24. Who said it? Everybody that said 24, you are the winners. Why is it 24? It's like a jumper and a shirt problem. I have to pick. How many choices do I have? 3 and 2 and 4. Don't put factorials in that. You aren't arranging these things. You're picking one. 3 choices, 2 choices, 4 choices. Now, I am arranging. How many ways can I arrange 10 chairs in a row? 10 factorial. So type in 10 factorial and tell me what the answer is. It'll be big. 3,628,800.
Yep.
I was about to say 50,000.
All right, remember we have to write down the answer. Okay, so that's the answer. How many ways can you answer 5 multiple choice questions if each question has 4 options? So here is your test. How many choices do I have for my first question? A, B, C, D, I have 4. How many choices do I have for my second question? 4. What am I going to do with all these 4s? Multiply them. Because when I sit down to take this test, do I have to answer question 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5? So of course it's a multiply.
1,024.
What? 1,024? I don't know. Is that 4 to the 5th? 1,024. How many ways can I give away 4 identical blue markers in a class of 12? 12 C4. 12 C4. Guys, I need you to listen to me. If I'm giving away 4 of the exact same thing, does Phoebe care if she gets the first one or the last one? Doesn't matter if they're exactly the same. So if I'm giving everybody a $5 bill, you don't care if you get my first 5 or my last 5. It's the same, right? No order if the prizes are all the same. But if I'm giving away a $100 bill, never happened, but if I'm giving away a $100 bill, a $20 bill, a $10 bill, and a $5 bill, do you care if you get picked first? Heck yeah, you want to be picked first, right? So then the order does matter. So that would be 12 or whatever, however you're 12 P4. Okay, when is it C? When everything's the same. When is it P? When it's different. What's 12C4, by the way? What is this number?
495.
495. All right, now I have the word toothpaste. How many ways can I arrange those letters? Well, what do we start with?
You just count how many.
We start with however many there are. So are there 10?
Yep.
So we start with 10 factorial. There's 2 O's, so 2 factorial takes care of the O's.
3 T's.
1, 2, 3 T's, so 3 factorial for the 3, or for the T's. Is that it?
That's it.
That's it.
Oh.
So then I go to my calculator, and I do 10 factorial divided by 2 factorial divided by 3 factorial. You should get 302,400. 302,400. The people who are zoned out, thinking about whatever it is some of you are thinking about, you're gonna miss this because you're not gonna type this in right on the calculator. It's 10 divided by 2 factorial divided by 2. It's divide, divide, divide.
On the test, is there gonna be this many of these type of questions? Like a whole.
What does the test look like, John?
Oh, no, man.
Yeah. How many tests?
I'm just making sure.
Now, on the test, I'm gonna have it spread out so you have more room to work. But yes. How many ways can 5 people be seated around the dining room table? 4 factorial, 24. Remember, when you seat them in a circle or put something in a circle, it's 1 less factorial. How many teams consisting of 2 seniors and 3 juniors can be formed from a group of 8 seniors, 6 juniors? I am picking 2 of these and 3 of these. How many teams can I have? Yoo-hoo! What are you saying, Leslie? I
Leslie's
can't
locked.
understand your, what are you saying to me? Bingo! Leslie says, I gotta pick 2 seniors, it's for a committee. I don't care who's first, I just need to get 2. There's 8 to choose from, I'm picking 2. 8C2.
So this is
Correct.
6C3.
6C3. Remember, Jack, this means I have 6 people to pick from, and I am picking 3. It wouldn't make any sense to put the 3 here, because you can't pick 6 from 3. Now, remember, my committees have seniors and juniors on them. So I'm gonna multiply these 2 numbers together. What is it? 560. Phoebe's already got it done. She's on fire. That's not right?
Oh, wait, no.
Maybe she's not.
No, I think she's.
Anybody get 560?
Did you do
Okay.
20 times 28?
I'm going
Phew.
with Daryl. Okay. What's the
Yes.
probability of being dealt a 4-card hand, a 4-card hand that is all red? Okay, now what's your denominator going to be?
52. See.
C4, this is a 4-card hand, so 52 C4 on the bottom. Now I want all red, so what's my top gonna be? 13 C4. Why are there 13?
Those are 13.
There's 13, oh no, that should be 26. It's red, not diamonds.
Because I have 52.
It's half of 52, Jackie, you have a calculator, it's the wrong calculator,
No.
as usual.
Wait, this isn't the right one?
No, you need a graphing calculator, does that calculator graph?
I got it at Staples, I thought it was gonna work.
No, it doesn't.
My bad. I just saw the factorial, so I thought it worked.
Alright, so you want the probability, so what did you get? Did you get this one, what did it come out to be? I got .0552. Is that what you got? And that number translates into like a 5.5% chance. All right, what's the probability of a 4-card hand? All right, so here's my 4-card hand. And exactly 2 queens. C2, because why?
There's 4 queens.
4 queens, and I'm picking 2 of them. Now, exactly, Claudia. Those of you that are asleep will stop here and be wrong. Claudia's awake and says, hey, I still need 2 more cards. So I'm gonna get 2 queens, and I'm going to get 2 more cards. And what kind of cards are those other 2 going to be? They're going to be something not queen, right? And there's 48 of those. So my deck is 4 queens and 48 other things. I need 2 queens and 2 other things. All right, so what do we get? Check Phoebe in just a second. I believe you 100%, but I am halfway through it, so I might as well finish it. Did you say .02? Actually, it would be like 5 because it's got a bunch of 9s after it. All right, next problem. Cafeteria serves popcorn. Oh, what are we gonna do for number 10? What is this going to look like? Leslie's into the hand motions today. She's back there going like this. That's right, right? Right? So, what's happening in the problem? We have popcorn and soda. Okay? Now, which goes where? Do I do popcorn first and then soda? Or soda and then popcorn?
Soda.
Find the probability they will serve soda. Soda goes on the bottom. So I'm going to start with popcorn and no popcorn. I'm actually going to use my notation this time. If you want to write popcorn and no popcorn, that's totally fine. Then I'm going to have soda and no soda. Right? So, tell me write the word, if that confuses you, right?
I know,
Popcorn,
which
no
one is
popcorn.
popcorn and which one's not popcorn with the notation?
What does that symbol mean?
No bananas, no apples,
Yeah,
no
no
bananas.
bananas, no apples, that's the knot. Better write use right knot. Okay, now let's start filling in the numbers. If the cafeteria serves popcorn, there's a 90% chance we'll serve soda. So 0.9, which means this guy is 0.1. If they don't serve popcorn, there's a 45% chance they'll serve soda, which means there's a 55% chance they don't. Find the probability that they will serve soda if they serve popcorn twice each week. Okay, now let's assume this is the school cafeteria, so 5 days. So if they serve popcorn twice a week, what's your probability they're gonna serve popcorn? 2 out of 5? 2 days out of 5? So you can write a fraction here, that's fine, or you can do 2 divided by 5 on your calculator, and that's 40%. 2 out of 5, 2/5, 40%. 40% of the days we have popcorn, 60% we don't. Alright, so how do I get an answer out of all this?
Multiply the.
I multiply these, so 0.4 times 0.9, and then I multiply these, 0.6 times 0.45, and since I can get soda this way or this way, I will add them. And it looks like 63% chance, 0.63. All right, last problem on the page. How are we gonna do this one? This is gonna be a Venn diagram problem. We got all these kids on the bus, 60 of them, and they are teaching and nursing. Every student on the bus likes at least one of those. So in other words, when I took my vote, everybody raised his hand at least once. So there's nobody out here. Everybody likes to teach or nurse. Alright, so how many voted for teaching? 40. And nursing was 35. We have a problem, you guys. How many votes did I get? 75. How many people do I have?
60.
What does that mean?
Voted.
15 people, that's 15 too many votes, right? Which means there were 15 extra votes, people voted twice. So those 15 go here. Everybody see where the 15 came from? Now, this circle, whole circle, is 40. What does that make just this part right here? 25? Guys, if the whole circle is 40 and 15 of them are already there, doesn't that leave 25 to be here? This has to add up to 30. Now, this whole one adds up to 35. So that's 20. What was the question? How many wanted to be only nursing? That would be these guys, right? Only nursing, so 20 is the answer. All right. Now we're going to expand 2x plus 3y to the 4th. We've already done one of these today. So let's see if you can remember what we did. Step 1. Coefficients. And where are the coefficients going to come from? They're going to come from Pascal's triangle. And which row of the triangle am I going to look back at?
Four.
The fourth. Now, I already wrote my triangle once, so I'm not gonna do it again. Here are the numbers in the fourth row of the triangle. I do not expect you to have that memorized. I expect you to know how to build the triangle. Which hopefully you did on the last practice test. You just flip back and look at it. There are your coefficients. Now what? What's the second step?
Your X and your
Next
Y.
to each one of these, I'm gonna have a 2x. And I put it in parentheses, always, and a 3y. And then what?
Plus.
Well, they're gonna have pluses, but I'm not done yet. I mean, yes, you can go and put pluses in there, absolutely, but there's something missing. The exponents are missing. Gotta have the exponents. So remember, the first term, 2x, first exponent will be 4. So this one gets a 4. And then I just go down the line. And when I get to the one that's a 0, I go ahead and cross that term out so it doesn't confuse me later. It disappears, it's just a 1. Then what happens with the 3y? Same thing. And again, I got a 0 here, so I'm gonna cross that out. Now I am ready to start simplifying. Would you agree? So here we go. First term, and what have I got? 16x to the 4th, very good. This is 2 to the 4th, x to the 4th. 16, x to the 4th, perfect. Now be careful here, what do I have? I have a 4, what's this? 8, x cubed, and 3y. Now that is all multiplication. So 4 times 8 times 3 is 96. And then of course x cubed y. What do I have here? 2x squared is 4x squared. And 3y squared is 9y squared. So what am I multiplying? 6 times 4 times 9, 216. Kids, it's easy. There's one piece at a time. It is so easy. All right, what am I multiplying here? 4, a 2x, and a what? 27y cubed. 3y, 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 27y cubed. So I'm multiplying all of those together. And I get another 216. xy cubed. And where I have on the very end, all I have is a 1. What is it?
81
Y to the 4th. 81 y to the 4th. Okay? Now, you have the next 15 minutes to finish this practice test with your partner. Okay? I gotta get going.